Morning, all. All right, so starting off with a news and preview video for all you fine people on the internet. As you see, I have a very busy night ahead of me. 14 games tonight in the National Hockey League, so I'm going to be doing that in here, which is unusual for me to follow that many games in this room. We'll see how it goes. That being said, let's go ahead and start off with the news. Rakell has been named to Four Nations for Team Sweden. He replaces William Karlsson, who's injured. So we'll see. There's other announcements that are going to be coming on players that are going to be getting replaced, probably right up until February 9th. So Rakell becomes the latest replacement that's been named. Of course, Finland replaced a couple of defensemen the other day, so we'll see how things go. So goaltender Halverson, who was recently signed by Tampa, is actually going to be the backup tonight behind Vasilevsky. So Vasilevsky's been confirmed to be the starter. Other Tampa Bay news: Connor Geekie this morning was sent down to the American Hockey League. So they signed another goaltender. They're using him as the backup tonight. And Geekie being sent down to the AHL. I have no problems with Geekie being sent down. He had a very good start to the season, has been very quiet lately. Maybe being sent down to the AHL is the best thing for him right now. Jonas Brodin is off of LTIR for the Minnesota Wild, so that's good news. And Marcus Johansson has been activated from injured reserve. So Minnesota getting healthier. They're still without Kaprizov, of course, but they are getting healthier. This has allowed them to send Ben Jones down to the American Hockey League. So getting Brodin back is good news. Tage Thompson, not good news here. He's not going to play tonight. I haven't seen that it's going to be a long-term injury or how long he's going to be out. But he was elbowed by Nason. Nason got a match penalty for that. And nothing else came out of Department of Player Safety. Sometimes they look at a match penalty like that, so being kicked out of the game, and say that's enough of a punishment for that. I'm sure there's Sabres fans that would disagree. The Sabres would probably disagree as well. But either way, Thompson isn't going to be in the lineup for Buffalo tonight when they host the Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll talk about Columbus in a moment here. Dylan Cousins. Apparently, the Calgary Flames have interest. According to Pierre LeBrun, the Flames are another team that's been interested. There were rumors that the Vancouver Canucks were interested when there was talks of whether or not Pettersson would get traded, which has really calmed down now that the Miller trade's taken place. Pettersson staying in place for Vancouver, likely till the end of the season. But yeah, Dylan Cousins, there's been all kinds of rumors about him on the trade block for Buffalo. It would make some sense for Buffalo. They have a lot of good young forwards. Cousins has been struggling. He's got an expensive contract. Now that the cap is going to be going, in the skyrocketing direction, it does mean that some of these contracts teams have been dragging around. It might be easier to move them now. The general managers will have a lot more cap space. So don't be surprised when some contracts we see as bad right now are tradable within a couple of years. Zach Werenski. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Columbus fans, so I figure I'd wear a Columbus jersey. I also want to throw out there, too, that the jerseys I'm wearing this week, I'm trying to make sure they're meetup jerseys because they're not kept on the set. And the set right now is it's right near the freezing mark. So that means those jerseys on that set, they're cold. And I don't enjoy putting on cold jerseys right before video. So, yeah, Werenski won't be playing tonight. He joins Marchenko on the sidelines. Of course, they're already without Monahan, so it's going to be up to everybody else. It's going to be tough for Columbus without Werenski. Hopefully, it's just tonight's game that he misses. The good news is that, of course, starting on Monday, everybody's off, and starting on Sunday, 28 teams are off because there's only 2 games on Sunday in the National Hockey League. So that's a 2-week period where hopefully Werenski ends up being okay. But there's a Four Nations consideration there for Werenski as well, right? Adam Edstrom is going to miss 2.5 to 3.5 months. Molly Walker reporting this. It's a lower body injury for Edstrom, so that's bad news for the New York Rangers. Edstrom being out that long. The good news being that there's some depth in that organization, so the Rangers should be able to absorb that, but it is going to be interesting to see how things go for them from here. So we move on into the preview, and as I said, a lot of games tonight. 14. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. 1 a half an hour later, 2 a half an hour later, and then 2 an hour after that. So I will have 10 games to follow for a while here. And then there's 4 more late games. So it doesn't really lighten up for me that much because these games will all overlap, of course. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Minnesota Wild and the Boston Bruins. Minnesota's 31-18-4. They've been fantastic on the road. Record of 26-3. Boston 26-22-6 overall. They're 17-8-3 at home. So Boston very good at home. Minnesota very good on the road. We'll see how that goes. Columbus is in Buffalo. Columbus 26-20-7 overall. However, 9-15-4 on the road. Their road record has been an issue this year. Buffalo, 21-26-5 overall, but they're 500 at home. Record of 12-12-3. So Buffalo tougher to beat at home than they are on the road, and Columbus, same story. Difference being Buffalo really isn't in this race for the playoffs. They're going to be without Thompson. Columbus is going to be without some of their top guys. This will be an interesting one to watch. Ottawa, coming off that win last night against Nashville, they now get to go into Tampa Bay and play the Lightning. For the Ottawa Senators, 29-20-4 overall. They're 13-13-2 on the road, so they've evened their road record. Whereas Tampa Bay, 27-20-4. So they need to win this one tonight. This is a 4-point swing either way. 16-7-2 is the record for Tampa Bay at home. So the Lightning better at home than they are on the road, and looking to get a little bit closer to a team that has passed them for third place. And of course, for Ottawa, they're looking ahead of them, and they're looking at Toronto and saying, yeah, we can catch them. They're only a couple points ahead. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the New Jersey Devils and the Pittsburgh Penguins. New Jersey, 29-19-6 overall. They're 14-11-2 on the road. So decent road record. They're decent at home as well. And on the Pittsburgh side, Pittsburgh 22-24-8 overall. They're 13-10-3 at home. So Pittsburgh's much better at home than they are on the road. New Jersey, slightly better record at home than on the road, but I've been impressed with how they've played on the road. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Florida and Washington. Is this a preview of the conference final? You're not going to answer? All right. So Florida, 32-19-3 overall. They're 16-10-1 on the road. Washington, 34-11-7 overall. They're 16-4-5 at home. So the Washington Capitals have been playing very, very well throughout the season. Florida's going to have to bring their A game if they want to win this one. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific start between Vegas and the New York Islanders. Vegas, 31-16-6 overall, but they're 12-10-3 on the road. So Vegas is not as good on the road as they're at home. And the other struggle Vegas has is against the Eastern Conference. They don't have a good record against the East, and the Islanders are definitely in the East. They're 24-21-7. They're 12-11-2 at home. So slightly better road record than home record for the Islanders. If they keep winning the way they have been, if they can ignore that game against Florida and just get back on a run, then they can keep themselves in the hunt and continue to improve that home record. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the Edmonton Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. The Oilers, 32-16-4 overall. They're 14-7-2 on the road. Excellent road record for the Oilers, which has been the case throughout the season. At home, they had their struggles early. The St. Louis Blues, 24-25-4 overall. A very un-St. Louis Blues-like record of 11-13-1 at home. So usually St. Louis is a tough place to play this season. It hasn't been, and now they get to host the Oilers. And of course, for Holloway and Broberg, there's a little bit of something on the line. So playing against their former team and all. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start as well between Carolina and the Winnipeg Jets. Carolina 32-17-4 overall. They're 12-11-3 on the road. So they've had their struggles on the road. Winnipeg 37-14-3 overall. They are 25-3 at home. So Winnipeg's excellent at home, but this could be game of the night material. Seriously. Carolina's been playing well coming into this one, so as Winnipeg should be fun. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start between Toronto and Calgary. And of course, we know Toronto's going to get a bunch of cheers from the Calgary faithful, because Toronto gets cheers when they're on the road in Canada, especially. I know they get that in the U.S. as well, but they definitely get that in Canada. So 31-19-2 is the record for Toronto. They're 12-8-2 on the road, so good road record. Whereas the Flames, 26-19-7 overall. They're 16-8-3 at home. Quietly, Calgary not only above the playoff line, but a very good team at home. Kind of tough to beat. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start between Philadelphia and the Utah Hockey Club. Philadelphia 23-25-6 overall. They're 11-13-5 on the road. And they've really, with the Farabee Frost trade, I think it's safe to say Philadelphia's sold off and probably will continue to, and their record will probably get worse from here. Utah 21-22-9 overall. They're 8-12-8 at home. Those voracious fans and all that cheering, but they've only got 8 wins in 28 games at home. Utah's got to change that. Honestly, if they had a good home record, they would absolutely be in the hunt for a playoff spot right now. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Colorado and the Vancouver Canucks. Colorado 31-21-2 overall. They're 15-11 on the road, and the Avs have had their struggles lately, whereas Vancouver 23-18-11. We have documented the Canucks plenty. At home, 9-10-7 overall. So they've won 9 out of 26 games at home. So it's just, and I do keep thinking about how much the price went up for tickets and how much worse the team is at home this year. So you're really not getting that return on investment. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Detroit and Seattle. Detroit's 27, 21, and 5. They're 12, 10, and 3 on the road. They now have a positive road record. Everything's going really well for Detroit. For Seattle, 23, 28, and 3 is the record overall. However, they are 500 at home, 13, 13, and 3. The Kraken, I think they've faded to the point now where we can start talking more about who's going to get sold off and what they might get for that. And then we get into the latest starts. There's two 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern starts. So one of these is going to go to a shootout. That seems to be the general rule. Dallas in Anaheim. Dallas 34, 17, and 1 overall. Anaheim 22, 24, and 6. The Dallas Stars 14 and 10 on the road. They're much better at home, but they've been better on the road lately. The Anaheim Ducks 22, 24, and 6 overall, but they're 500 at home with a 12, 12, and 4 record. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start between the Montreal Canadiens and the Senators, the San Jose Sharks. Montreal 24, 23, and 5 overall, but they're below 500 on the road, 11, 13, and 1. They're coming off that loss in Anaheim. San Jose 15, 33, and 6 overall. They're 9, 16, and 1 at home. Trading Granlund and Ceci probably will not help them at home. I think Montreal probably wins that one, but that's why they play the game, so we find out who does actually win in the end. So let me know your thoughts regarding the news. Let me know your picks regarding tonight's games. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.